the Mother of God promised heaven to Jacinta and Francisco Marto if they did the following thing. Want to know what can help you convert yourself and your friends? Stay tuned. Hello and welcome to America Needs Fatima. I'm Nick Brightingham, and be sure to hit subscribe and to click the notification bell to never miss out on another story of Mary. I love that bell. Before we get into our story, I left a link for you below where you can join the Friends of the Cross campaign. It is a new America Needs Fatima initiative for this Lent, but more about this later. Today's the feast of Saints Francisco and Jacinta Marto. Francisco was born on June 11th, 1908, and Jacinta was born on March 11th, 1910. Now, Our Lady appeared to them on May 13th, 1917, making the children the purveyors of Mary's grace on earth. Our Lady told the children to pray the rosary and to do penance for the conversion of sinners. This is at the very core of the message that they were entrusted. Her message also focused on two other points. One, the conversion of Russia, when she requested that the consecration of Russia to her Immaculate Heart was needed, and the 5 First Saturday devotion in reparation for the sins of blasphemy. But let us think about that first meeting of Mary at the Cova in May 1917. She told the children that she was from heaven and that Jacinta and Lucia would go to heaven, along with Francisco, but only if he said many, many rosaries. Our Lady also told the children at this first apparition that they must suffer to make reparation for the sins committed which offend God, for which she said, for God is already much offended. Now think of it. We fear suffering. We don't want to do it. We want nothing to do with a feeling of discomfort. We have all the pills in the world to take away the pain. What's the one thing pills cannot take away? Sin. For sin and blasphemy offend the eternal being, God. At the second apparition, Mary said she would take Jacinta and Francisco soon to heaven. At the third apparition in July, Our Lady showed them a terrifying vision of hell. It was also the third apparition that she requested the consecration of Russia and warned of the spread of communism. America has so far been spared the errors of Russia, communism, at least for the most part. But now, look around you. Our resistance to such errors is fading quickly. We must pray like never before. Now, towards the end of her July 13th message, Mary promised, in the end, my Immaculate Heart will triumph. And that is the hope we can all hang on to. The fourth apparition was delayed because of the mayor of Orem, a nearby city, imprisoned the children. Our Lady came, but the children could not show up because they were in prison. She appeared to them later on August 19th. Then the fifth apparition took place on September 13th. Then, of course, the sixth and final apparition on October 13th culminated with the miracle of the sun. But before that, 3 scenes happened. The first scene the children saw was that of St. Joseph with the child Jesus and Our Lady of the Rosary. St. Joseph blessed the crowd, making the sign of the cross 3 times. Then the child Jesus did the same thing. The second scene was of Our Lady of Sorrows, but without the sword in her breast, and of our Lord overwhelmed with sorrow on the way to Calvary, carrying his cross. Our Lord made the sign of the cross to bless the people. Then finally, Our Lady of Mount Carmel, crowned Queen of heaven and earth, appeared, holding Jesus. Then came the miracle of biblical proportions, the miracle of the Son. This was the sign Our Lady had promised the children so that people would believe. The sun began to spin quickly and started to dance across the sky. 70,000 people witnessed it and were stunned. 70,000. Many thought it was the end of the world, and you or I saw that, we would think the same. Now, moving ahead, remember Our Lady told the shepherd children that she would take Francisco and Jacinta soon, and this was proven correct. Francisco died April 4th, 1919 while in Fatima, while Jacinta passed away from complications with pleurisy brought on by influenza on February 20th, 1920. Today we call them Saints Jacinta and Francisco of Fatima. These 2 young shepherds went from a simple, carefree life to the heights of sanctity in a span of 2 to 3 years. Now, Our Lady, in a way, catapulted them to sainthood. Just catapulted them. Look at their picture, and you will see a sense of maturity and seriousness that you don't find in many adults today. You don't find that in many adults. Our Lady transformed them in a very short amount of time, and she can do the same to us if we let her. Now, in this Lenten season, I invite you to follow the steps of Saints Jacinta and Francisco of Fatima. And you can do this by joining America Needs Fatima's Friends of the Cross initiative. Click the link below, and you will be taken to a page on our site where you can submit the names of those you care about, but with a special focus on those who have left the faith or are struggling in their faith. A good priest is celebrating 40 Masses this Lent for all the names you and others submit to the Friends of the Cross registry. Let us join the 2 saintly children and pray for sinners. Feel free to include your own name. God knows our hearts. Add it. May God bless you and Mary Immaculate keep you under her mantle. In my next video, I want to tell you how you could make this the best Lent ever. So make sure you don't miss it.